What's up, everybody? This is Tanner from TanmanBaseballFan.com. It is story time here. So I've got a little story to tell you. You might be a little familiar with this if you read my book, Confessions of a Baseball Card Addict. I'm pretty sure I had this in there. It's been a while since I wrote it. So let me tell you anyways, because this has a few implications with my latest pickup here. So back in 1999, September of 99, I met this one girl and just really liked her a lot. We ended up dating, and the problem was, and this is kind of how it seems like life happens a lot of times, in December, a couple months later, the plan was for me to move out to Arizona to get an apartment with my best friend. I was 19 at the time, just a young pup, I guess you could say, and wasn't really interested in baseball or baseball cards at all back then. Now, I'll say this. Because of the home run race, I was really kind of keeping tabs on what McGuire and Sosa were doing in 98. And, of course, Canseco. And I was very happy that he put on a career high of home runs in 98. And he was leading the league in home runs in 99 by the All-Star game. But, unfortunately, he had surgery, so that trend didn't continue. But anyways, December 99, I packed up everything I owned in my 1989 IROC. No air conditioning, by the way, and, Houston, but insane, right? And I was going to go to Arizona. It's going to be hotter there, just not as humid. But my mom, she packed up everything that she owned in her car. And the plan was for both of us to drive out in our own separate cars westward. I would follow her. But she would keep going until she hit California to be reunited with my dad, so they could, live their lives there. I would stop at Arizona and just be with my best friend there. So, well, several hours into the trip, and by the way, let me tell you, the goodbyes and the breakup with that girl was just gut wrenching. It was awful, But I knew that's what happens in life. You just, you break up with girls, it's just kind of part of life. But anyway, so several hours into the trip, in the middle of nowhere, my mom pulls over. It's like, what is going on? Come to find out, her engine threw a rod, and we were just out in the middle of nowhere. It's like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And so I prayed. I said, God, if you want me to move back to Texas, have my mom say something about it. And it was kind of like a shock. I didn't know even why I prayed that. Like, I never even imagined that to be a possibility. Like, my friend was waiting on me. He was expecting me the next day or two, and that's just how life was going to be. 10 seconds later, my mom comes over to me and goes, well, what do you think about moving back to Texas? What? I mean, this is like seconds later after I prayed this. And I said, well, I think God told me to. I know a lot of you out there may not even believe in God, and that's okay. So I'm just telling my story here on this. But I felt like that's really what God was telling me to do. So I moved back. I ended up surprising my then ex-girlfriend. We got back together, ended up getting married, and we're about to celebrate in a few months our 20-year anniversary. We have two wonderful kids, and life just turned out incredible. We've had a lot of problems along the way, but I wouldn't trade for anything. So there's a Father's Day gift that they gave me, me and my two kids here from last year, and I just couldn't imagine how life would have turned out if I decided to actually go to Arizona. So anyways, let me tie in a little bit of how baseball cards come into this, because like I said, I wasn't really into collecting then. In fact, I probably wasn't into collecting for that 5-year period or something like that. I think I kind of walked away from the hobby in 94 because there's just other things going on. But anyway, so in 1999, Upper Deck produced 2000 Upper Deck Game Used Jersey Patch. This is like the first official pack-pulled patch release. I didn't know about it back then, but when I did come back in the hobby in about 2006 or so, that's when I first heard about these game used cards, just the white swatches, the 1 square inch white or gray swatches that came in. And I thought these things were just futuristic, man. I thought they were incredible. I remember looking at this card going, oh my gosh, I am holding a card, and it didn't matter who it was. Like, it could have been literally anybody, any common player, but holding a card with that game used piece, thinking, my gosh, there is a piece of jersey that this player that's pictured was wearing in an actual baseball game. Like, that was just mind-blowing to me. Like, I just thought it was incredible. It seemed like something so futuristic. So I ended up buying them, over and over and over. Like, I came up with, I spent hundreds of dollars on these guys. Like, and then afterwards I go, man, I think I kind of overdid it. All I have is just like a massive box of these game used cards of players I don't really know. So I ended up selling them, and I was planning on actually exiting the hobby again. Like, I was like, this is too much for me. Found out I could actually make money out of it. And so I said, well, maybe I'll stick around a little longer. And I ended up just falling back in love with the hobby again, like the junk wax era stuff, the new stuff, everything. And but it wasn't really until I started super collecting Canseco that I really fell in love with actually collecting to keep cards, for a long time. So anyways, as time went on, of course, the excitement and interest of these little game used little 1 inch, white and gray swatches kind of wore on me. I just, they're just more of a gimmick now. But the patches were really something that were exciting to me still. And I got more selective and more choosy with what I was wanting. So obviously I won't bore you with the details of me selling out of my Canseco collection in 2018 and coming back and buying a bunch of new ones and everything. But let me go back to the 99 December release. So remember, a bunch of stuff was happening in my life at this point. Upper Deck releases this fabulous set, 2000 Upper Deck game jersey patch in December of 99. And Canseco was in it. So, and I don't know where I was or why I didn't really know this until recently, but this turns out to be Canseco's very first patch release. And it's only one of 2 actual patch releases that Canseco had during his playing career. To me, that's really special. It's really special to have these 2 types of cards because, guys, they're going to be making the other stuff like till the end of time. Like, you buy a game used jersey, you cut it up, you put it in. But like, to have a card of a game used card of Canseco during his playing career, where somebody pulls it out of a pack, right, and they go, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see this guy play next year. Or, oh man, when you pull it during the season or something, oh man, I'm so happy that he hit the home run that he did last night. And I can't wait to see what he does tonight. Like, there's just something different. And on top of that, by the way, Canseco was on the Devil Rays, so he had some amazing patch pieces. But I think I found the coolest one, and I'm really excited about it. So I'm going to show you what they are, what it is. First, let me tell you kind of what I had to do. So a friend of mine, he ended up buying this about a decade ago. And it took me months to formulate like a trade. I bounced it off of him, a number of times, and finally got the right combination of cards. It included me getting rid of a bat barrel, a couple 1-of-1 Panini patches, a couple trajectory patches, like a lot of really good stuff. As a super collector, I would never have done anything like this. But as a collector, that goes for these unicorn cards. I'm talking about the cards that make you lose sleep at night, right? If you're big into collecting, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's what this is. And so I had to pay a king's ransom for this in trade, but I would have done this 100 million times over. I'm so excited about this card. So let me show you what it is here real quick. Okay, guys, here it is. Oh my gosh. I didn't even know this card existed until about a year ago. My jaw dropped. This is incredible. And it's funny. Oh, on top of the trade, I had to give up another of this exact same card just with a different patch. That's how much this card means to me. And I got it about a week ago or so, and I cannot stop looking at it. Jose doesn't have these logo patches. Like, he just doesn't really. Like, there's not many of them out there. You could probably count on 2 hands how many logo patch type cards he has, even now. And it's crazy, especially for licensed stuff. I mean, it's crazy what you cannot find out there because they just didn't make it. But anyways, so this is the card that got me so excited about it. It's the best patch I've ever seen of Jose's first ever patch card that's been released. And so it's so special on many levels. It's, like I said, if you pulled this card, whoever pulled this card, they very well could have been a Canseco fan and collector that could have seen him playing in a game later that afternoon or that night or something. It's really neat to think of it that way because, like I said, barrels, knobs, the patch cards now, they're going to make those until the end of time. But you cannot go back and make another playing career patch card. That's what makes this so exciting to me. The fact that it has RA for the Rays, and it's got the black, the white, the blue, the purple. I love that he was on the Rays just for the very fact that they were so colorful, But anyways, really excited about this. Most everything else that he has that's licensed at the very least is, if it's a patch, it's going to be green and gold, which nothing wrong with that. I love the A's, but man, I'm just so happy with this card. It means a lot to me. And on top of that, I don't know if you do this, but for me personally, baseball cards serve as memory markers for me. In 1990 Donruss, I'll think of my cat Sparkles that died. My parents gave me a box of 90 Donruss to console me. 91 Donruss, I'm reminded of a Christmas tree farm because I had some 91 Donruss whenever we went there. And I remember these things for some reason. So this released the only patch card of Canseco that was released during my quote-unquote childhood, because I was 19, my teenage years. Even though I didn't even know this existed. I mean, I would have definitely come back into the hobby much sooner if I knew that something like this existed. But like I said, it's one of two official releases from his playing career, and this is the first one. So there it is, guys. Super excited about it. Thank you so much for watching, and hope you all have a great day.